fish. Over there, he's got turtles and stingrays and all sorts of things around him at the moment. We can't even see him anymore, he's gone. So how's that for a birthday, getting squished by stingrays? So you can see our smooth rays, they're pretty hungry at the moment, trying to get as much food as they possibly can. So these big black rays, as I said, they're called smooth stingrays. Now they are the largest type of stingray in the world. So we're lucky to have them here at the Melbourne Aquarium. But they're also a local species or a local type of ray. So if you head down to Port Phillip Bay, maybe you like to go down to Portsea or Sorrento, those sorts of areas, you might be lucky enough to see some of these smooth rays off the piers. Now you can see the divers bringing the rays up against the window. Underneath there you can see two holes. Now that's actually the nostrils of the rays. Their eyes are actually positioned on top of their head. Also on the other side you can see their mouth, and then two sets of 5 lines will open and close, and that's their gills. That's what they use to breathe with. Now in the mouth of the smooth rays, you can see them being fed there, really small flat teeth that are used for crushing or squashing their food. So if you watch the rays feed, you'll notice they spit their food in and out a few times, and that helps just to crush or squash that food up. Now you can see our 2 green sea turtles have joined our divers. These are the only 2 green sea turtles in the display. And the green sea turtles are the most viewed animal in the display for our divers. Now the main reason for that is green sea turtles have pretty poor eyesight. So they can smell where that food is, they just can't quite see where it is. So what they do is they just start biting out anything that they can. So sometimes they bite fish, sometimes they bite stingrays, but more often than not they bite divers. And they bite divers on the arms and the legs, and if they're not careful, on the bottom as well. So if you notice them sneaking up on Lloyd and Jason, maybe point them out so poor Jason doesn't get bitten on the bottom by a turtle on his birthday. But there is one sneaking up behind him there, in between smooth stingrays. Now when the turtles bite, it does hurt quite a lot. They've got a pretty bony mouth called a beak, and it does cause bruises to our divers. So these can come out with bruises all up their arms and their legs from the green sea turtles. Now the 2 sea turtles that we have here at the aquarium have come from Queensland. So you don't usually find turtles down here in the cooler waters. But what sometimes happens is they get swept right down the east coast of Australia. They get here to Victoria where it's much too cold for them. They generally get very sick, very dehydrated and underweight. And they wash up on beaches. People find them, give us a call, we go and collect them, and they're brought here for rehabilitation. So once these 2 turtles are all better, we'll put them on an aeroplane and fly them back up to Queensland where they belong. Now just over here on the left, you can see Jason feeding Leo, the leopard shark. So he's quite distinctive. He's got spots all over him, like a leopard. But when he was born, he actually had stripes on him. So some people like to call them zebra sharks when they're young, and then leopard sharks as they get older. So Leo, the leopard shark, is a very friendly, polite shark, and always comes up quite nicely to divers to take their food, take its food. Now we've got a few more people arriving into the fish bowl, so we're going to get everyone once again to shuffle forward, particularly on this side with a nice big gut right down here at the front. So we're going to shuffle forward, fill any big guts in front of you, there's a few over that side as well, because we've got lots more people coming through. So we greatly appreciate if you could shuffle forward just so we can fit as many people in as we possibly can. If you're just arriving, a bit more sitting room opening up the back, or if you head around to behind those black seats, you'll be able to find some standing room as well. Thank you very much for shuffling. Now you can see Jason's getting a bit sick of the green sea turtle and starting to push it away. So sometimes the sea turtles can be a little bit annoying for our divers, because they bite them, steal food out of the bucket, bite other animals, all sorts of things. So sometimes they give just a bit of a gentle push up to the surface. Or the other good trick to do is push them over to the other diver and let them deal with it. Particularly if you've got both of them, it's always a good idea just to push one at least away over to the other diver, and hopefully you'll get rid of it. So we can see Leo the leopard shark being fed again by Lloyd there, looking like he's very hungry, having a lot to eat. We can see the turtle still isn't giving up, trying to get some food out of the bucket. Just coming out the window now, you can see a different different type of ray. This is known as a fiddler ray, or also a banjo shark. It is in fact a ray because its gills and mouth are underneath, but its tail is a lot more like a shark, so some people do refer to it as a banjo shark. Now the fiddler rays do not have a sting on their tail. They're not like the big black stingrays you can see swimming around, so their form of defence is camouflage to hide under the sand so no one can see them. Sea turtles still don't understand the word no, or what pushing away means, still coming back for food. You can see there's lots of fish swimming around our divers at the moment. Now you might be wondering, when do they get fed? The divers will feed them a little bit, but the divers' main job is to feed the bigger animals like the stingrays, the sharks and the turtles.
Could the parents of Louis Jogalis please report to front desk? Thank you.
So what the fish will get is a service feed a little bit later on during the feed. So sometimes you walk into the fish bowl or during the feed, you might see a fair bit of commotion up over the other side of the fish bowl. And that's someone throwing food in for the fish. So things like prawns and mussels and squid, that's where most of the fish will get their food rather than feeding off the divers at the moment. Now the main fish you can see are snapper. They're the big pink ones with bumps on their heads. There's quite a few of them in there. They're a typical Victorian or Southern Australian fish. We've also got a kingfish, this large fish with the yellow stripe and the yellow tail coming across right near the diver there on the right, sorry, the left. And then we've also got some Australian salmon there, the silverfish one up at the surface as well. There's also some silver trevally in there too. Now we're going to move away from Jason and Lloyd, which means they're finished feeding on this side of the fish bowl. Now what Jason and Lloyd are going to do now is they're going to head down to the Ocean Theatre. We've got another large crowd of people waiting to see a little bit more feeding. So you're welcome to follow them that way, but bear in mind the theatre is already full, so you may not be able to see them continue feeding. Now ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you did enjoy our feeding session this morning. We got to see Leah the leopard shark